Hey guys, this is Andy and Dustin from 8PN. Say what's up, Dustin. We're going live here, so you guys can get to know some of our staff. Dustin's one of our therapists here. He's going to kind of tell you a little bit about how he got into this field.
Prior to becoming a therapist, I actually worked in tech sales and didn't really, I wasn't too happy doing that. And so I ended up kind of going into addiction and deeper into addiction the longer I was in that field. Until finally everything kind of came to a head and I needed to go to treatment. After a couple episodes of care, I was able to put some time together, and I knew I didn't want to go back to where I had been. So I talked to some people that I trusted, and they said, hey, yeah, you could give becoming a therapist a shot. So I went, got a master's degree in addiction counseling, and have been working as a therapist in addiction counseling ever since. So.
Awesome. So yeah, Dustin does a lot here. He's kind of like a jack of all trades, but his main role is adventure therapy. So he's kind of talk about that and how we do that with our clients. Obviously, we're here on this beautiful day in Edwards, and he gets an opportunity to get our clients out into this beautiful environment and kind of get them into whatever adventure therapy or experiential treatment looks like. So he's going to talk about that a little bit.
So experiential therapy, you may hear the term kind of thrown around. It's more of a philosophy towards treatment than it is a specific modality. So sometimes you hear like CBT or DBT or different forms of therapy. Experiential is a little bit different in that it kind of subscribes to the idea of how you do one thing is how you do everything. So what we do is we'll go out into the Rockies, or sometimes we'll do things, in the building that are experiences or activities that would bring up unconscious behavior to kind of the forefront. So one example of this would be in hiking, which we do a lot of right now because it allows us to do social distancing safely, but get people out into the mountains. Sometimes you'll see a hiking trail and you think, I can't do that. Or you might get frustrated, which is going to work on or bring some distress tolerance and some coping skills that you might be lacking to the forefront. And so it's a nice philosophy as it applies to different therapeutic modalities, because it allows us to show the client rather than just talk about it. Talk therapy is definitely very effective. So we do this as kind of a supplemental sidetrack for clients to kind of work on or approach things in a little bit different way. So that's kind of the main way I would describe it. So like, for instance, today we're going hiking, but we're going to have it be a guided hike. So clients will guide one another. One person will be blindfolded, the other person will be guiding them. So it's an exercise in trust, it's an exercise in control, and it's also it's an opportunity for clients to kind of explore what their fears are. Are they okay with asking for help? So we'll go through that exercise, and then we'll kind of debrief it, and anything that comes up is then passed on to the primary therapist, and they can pursue that in other modalities that they might be working on.
Yeah, that's awesome. In my experience with seeing clients work through this experiential treatment, is that a lot of times they're unaware that they're doing this deep work or this work on some of their trauma or their anxiety, and then after the fact, after they've been here and they've been doing the treatment, then they realize, oh, that's how that my area of my life showed up there. So it's pretty cool that we can offer that here. Colorado does bring a unique environment that we can do stuff here that we couldn't do in other places. Like, Dustin, what are some things that clients get super excited for that Colorado brings that other states don't possibly bring?
There's the obvious answer. We have world-class skiing. We take clients to Vail, Beaver Creek, get them out on the hill. We're looking at incorporating equine therapy as soon as the social distancing kind of restrictions lower. We've got stables down the hill. River rafting, climbing. We've been to the indoor climbing gym pre-COVID. And again, all of these are different experiences that just bring that unconscious up into the conscious. We have some of the most beautiful mountains. You can see the New York Range in the background right there.
It's unbelievable.
And then we'll actually go to the top of Cordillera, which is where we're located. That's where we went hiking last week. We've got the Colorado River. There's tons of opportunities to get out And I think it's also important to rediscover or discover passions that you may have that you were unaware of. Generally, when a person has a substance use disorder, that's consumed their entire life. Any sort of behavioral issues generally have kind of consumed everything they do. So when we move away from that, what are we going to fill our time with? And discovering passions in, outside in the outdoors is certainly a way to do that in a really healthy way. So it's a beautiful place, and we have access to all of it. So.
Yeah, it really is, and Dustin does a great job, and so does the rest of our clinical staff processing when these guys and guys and girls get to go do these adventure type therapies. And a lot of times, if a client is resistant to treatment at certain times in the beginning, maybe of their process, they're always open to, hey, can we get outside? Can we get into this beautiful atmosphere? So, Dustin, do you notice anything about the resistance of clients early on and them getting excited to get into this adventure therapy?
Yeah, that's an awesome point, actually. We did a group, actually, a couple weeks ago, and we were just shooting pool. And one of the clients came up to me afterwards, and he was just like, wow, that was a really cool experience because it kind of disarmed a lot of my kind of defense mechanisms. And that's a huge therapeutic opportunity right there to just say, okay, cool, what are those defense mechanisms? Are you aware when those come up, or are you aware when those come down? We've been doing a lot of work around that. So the idea that this can kind of reduce some resistance to change or resistance to treatment, it's absolutely one of the kind of the better parts of, having access to this landscape and to experiential therapy.
Awesome. All right, so that's just a quick couple minutes about adventure therapy with some good views of this beautiful Edwards, Colorado, and our campus. And like Dustin said earlier, he'll be doing a group today with the guys and the girls on a hike and getting them in this atmosphere. Like yesterday, it snowed 7 inches, and now today it's 55 degrees and there's not a cloud in the sky. So we really get to get the clients in this beautiful Colorado air and atmosphere. So. That being said, thank you for the time. Dustin, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
See ya.